who in the right mind will say, I don't believe in climate change and I will pick the most expensive thing, right? So, or the operating wise. So but if you ask the developer, they don't seem to get it. They're waiting for the investors to tell it. So it's a broken, asymmetry of information, if you like. And that is the core issue that I feel one has to tackle. This is a big one. And I think, as Sunita was saying earlier, that through this association of some, pioneering kind of developers, we're trying to tackle this issue as to how much does it cost to build green. But the perception in the market is that it's about 30% more expensive, right? When in reality, it's close to 0.5% or 2%, that sort of level, right? So it's a marginal cost of construction, not even the whole cost of sale. So it's not as big as most people think it is, especially if they do it early in the design stage and build it in, right? That's one. The second is, and I think Anubhav mentioned this, the economic argument or knowledge, I would call it, right? Sort of, this is not a big issue. Most people inherently know that leaving windows open and putting air conditioning on is bad. So it's not like they don't know, but they probably don't have all the numbers at their fingertips. If they had to choose, where would they put it? That's one. And the last one is one which is very, kind of unique to buildings, is this circle of blame issue, which is everybody, as you mentioned, the ecosystem, everybody blames the other, right? So if you ask the home buyers, if you ask yourself, right, if you were looking to buy a house, would you go for the same price, same location? Would you not go for energy efficient house? Of course they will, right? Who in the right mind will say, I don't believe in climate change and I will pick the most expensive thing, right? So, or the operating wise. But if you ask the developer, they don't seem to get it. They're waiting for the investors to tell it. So it's a broken, asymmetry of information, if you like. And that is the core issue that I feel one has to tackle. And I think, and that there has to be the economic argument, but there also has to be unbroken communication and trust. Okay, so when somebody originates a project, that the home buyer should be able to trust that it's actually good. And then the whole cycle continues. The investors should trust that they would actually make a profit and all of that, right? And the bank has to trust that they'll get the money back, after spending a little bit more. So with this in context, we felt that as IFC, we wanted to push it from our side. We're a development agency, right, part of the World Bank Group. And so we felt there was a gap. And there was some really good leadership from LEAD and others that did really well at the sort of at the higher end of the market at that time, particularly in the offices space. But the mass market, we needed to create something that would really push that forward. And that's what led us to create Edge. And just, not more than 1 minute. It has three main parts. There's a software, and it's free for anyone to use. And it helps you do the investment planning. Whether you're an architect or a home buyer or a developer or a bank, you go in, you choose your type of building. It tells you, what sort of things you can do and how much it will cost. And we have teamed up, with various people, including US Green Building Council, who are our main body pushing it through. So this has to be done through partnerships, as Anubhav was saying, one of the P's, right? So we need to find ways to scale this up. Then we really kind of refocused the standard. Okay, what I meant was not to say other issues are not important, but we had to, for climate change's sake, we had to refocus it back into resource efficiency, what you started with, energy, water, materials, which matters quite a lot, particularly in developing countries where energy is not a cost issue alone. It's a power cut issue. It's about convenience. It's about tankers coming in. It's all of those issues, right? And then finally, how do we trust the whole system? The circle is broken, as we talked about it. And developers, historically claim, and some rightly and some wrongly, and everybody claims this, right? That they're good. So you need a system where there's a third-party check who would come and check, and that's where Millie's organization really helps in bringing that credibility in that system, where a home buyer who buys a piece of, property knows that it's green, and has some faith in it.